Results revenue at 3.17 billion euros, up 4.2% year over year.
Reporting third quarter sales up 4.8%. Franklin Golf Romeo.
And Fed policy will be driven by the pace of the data. Same policy will remain accommodative.
Futures off sessions low, still down about 1% on the day for a little more than 4 pennies.
Don't, blow yourself up without realizing something that you only can realize by live trading: execution issues, how your platform works, liquidity within that particular index or stock or whatever. So many things happen with live trading that you're just not going to see in paper trading.
I agree. And with the products I'm going to talk about here, I'd say with most platforms, you can probably get pretty close to the same fills in paper money that you get in real money. Mm-hmm. But you have to be aware of the fact that they're never going to be identical, and that the paper money platforms are going to use an algorithm to decide what your fill is at. I know a guy who's in a session I go to who trades SPX spreads, and he gets these incredible fills on SPX that you cannot get in real life. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's a pointless exercise to do that paper money trading like that, because it can't be duplicated.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
So the guidelines, I'll just summarize briefly: keep your position size small, scale into the positions over several days. Don't try to build everything at once. Try to take advantage of relatively high VIX days. I mean, it depends on what the VIX has been running at. But for instance, right now, where we were earlier today, and maybe towards the end, I don't think I caught the end of the market, at 19 or 20 is relatively high. Not super high like 30, but it's relatively high compared to a low VIX day like we had maybe last week at like 15.5. So you want to sell premium when the VIX is in your favor, because you're going to get more selling options when you get more premium when you sell options when the VIX is high. You also want to buy volatility when the VIX is low, and that's when you'd be buying calendars or other debit spreads.
When you're saying sell premium, are you primarily referring to the butterflies you're adding and the calendars for the buy volatility, or did you mean the original condor itself?
I'm talking about, for the premium, I'm talking about the verticals, whether they are balanced and form a condor or not. Oh, I try to do my premium selling with the VIX higher.
Right.
And buy my calendars when the VIX is lower.
The other question I had for you is, when you say scale into positions over several days, are you, well, and I guess we'll see it as you demonstrated, but are the verticals that you're selling going to be the same strike as you're scaling in, or will you in some cases add verticals at different strikes on the same side?
It's a great question. That's a matter of taste, but my preference is to look at the market when I go back and sell some more premium. In other words, let's say I get a high VIX spike and I say, well, this is near the time frame when I want to be putting a position on. So I'm going to go ahead and put on, and let's say, for example, my underlying is more or less trending sideways. So I'm going to sell a condor. Maybe I intend to have a full position size of about 15 contracts on a product. Then I might sell 5 one day, 5 another day, 5 another. And they might overlap, but they might not. I actually like the idea of having them interleaved a little bit, because that's also a little bit of a way to diversify your risk. Mm-hmm. If you got hit on one side, you're not getting hit with 10 or 15 contracts on one strike. You're getting hit with 5 contracts on, say, one strike. So I like doing that. It just helps mitigate your risk a little bit more.
Yeah, I had actually developed at one time a condor where you started on day 49 and ended on day 28, and every 7 days we'd add a new condor at 10 delta on either side, and it didn't matter whether it was the same strikes or not. Frequently, it was not the same strikes. And then I had a whole protocol for rolling them depending upon the delta of the particular vertical I added on the particular side. So I know what you mean, that you can actually handle it both ways. So Okay, great.
Seth, if that's the strategy you're still using, you should do a presentation on it. Sounds cool.
Well, I'm not. It probably would have worked real well this year, but I just sort of went on to other things. But I would enjoy demonstrating it just so people saw how it worked. I do have one former student of mine who swears by it, and it's his major trade. So maybe we'll get him on. As a matter of fact, that's an idea too. So anyway,
there you
okay,
go.
I interrupted.
Great idea.
Yeah, good.
No worries.
Thank you for watching this clip of our Options Tribe webinar. The rest of the recording is available on optionstribe.com. I'm Seth Freudberg, and I've been hosting the Options Tribe since May of 2011. We've brought in options experts from all over the world to make excellent presentations to our members. So go right now to optionstribe.com to learn more about options education, or you can send me an email at sfreudberg@smbcap.com.